I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for something different. Last season of Love is Blind gave us a lot of shenanigans, okay? So watching this show, The Later Daters, Michelle Obama, you might got something here, okay? But as a therapist, I was like, it shows you that no matter what age you are, some people are still up with the shenanigans, okay? Now, some of these people reminded me of some therapy is needed, but the vulnerability and so many things, people love storytelling. And that's why this show captured a lot of America. A lot of people watched it. Even though in the beginning I was like, are people really gonna watch this? They did. So let's get into all these people trying to find love. Some of them still stuck in their 20s from a therapist perspective. Now, looking at some of our, some of the people we saw this season, I want to start with we're gonna start with Suzanne. Okay, now Suzanne knows that she is of a certain taste, a certain caliber. She knows her worth. And I feel like she learned what her worth was at an early age, that now, looking at her in her youth, age is kind of nothing but a number. Her age is really in her personality. Her youth is showing she just has such a young spirit. And so looking at the fact that she has not dated in a long time, over 5 years, unfortunately, her husband did pass away from cancer. Okay. And so she's getting out there, okay, in them streets. And she goes on a couple dates. And one of them in particular, okay, Avery caught her eye. Now, in the beginning, it reminded me of someone who, when he was younger, he was probably like a jock, all American. He still also has that youthful spirit. In the beginning, them finding love, finding each other, I thought, is Suzanne going to be open to this? Because not only is he like an opposing football team, but there was a spark there. I think a spark that she has not felt in a long time, that in some ways it really did scare her. And she decided to pull back a little bit. Now, were y'all surprised when she pulled back? Because knowing that she has been in love with her ex-husband for so long, pouring into her children, and them still probably in some ways grieving his loss, them having that tattoo of his fingerprint on the daughter at least, and the mom having that tattoo. I saw a woman who wanted love but was also very scared. And we don't talk enough about starting all over, getting into the dating field at certain ages. We talked about that a lot in my Tia recaps. Starting all over, finding the love of your life when you thought the person you initially married was gonna be that person. And due to different circumstances, you are back out there in those streets, whether it's a divorce, whether it's grief, trying to find yourself. Who am I now? The person I was when I married my husband 20 years ago, 30 years ago, some of them 40 years ago. I'm not that same person. So trying to get used to not only myself being different, but who am I as someone who's dating? And Suzanne just showed us over and over again that no matter how old you are, don't let your age stop you. Don't let your age prevent you from finding love, and don't let grief have such a hold on you that the person who's out there who might be your person 2.0 might be able to love you, caress you, give you those life experiences that you thought died with your partner, died with your marriage when it ended, is still out there. So when they got back together and we see them, along the way, going to the game together, her going on another date, and of course, the person being the opposite. See, I think sometimes people choose a safe route. And I think the other date that she went on, they were on the boat and all those things, he was the safer route in some ways. I think Avery represents a part of her that's still like, is it okay to like somebody? What will my husband think? I know his spirit is all around me, my chimes, I hear him, we talk to him as a family, but what will he think if I move on with this person? And I think that is probably what held her back, but something ultimately made her see like, it's okay. I can get out there. I can love again. So she is a woman who shows all of us, know your worth. No matter what age you are, learn it young. So as you get older, you will still have a grip on it, and you won't deal with and settle for less. Okay, now let's get into Miss Spice. Okay, Miss Patricia, Miss Annalise. Now, doing a little bit more background on her, Annalise has been through two traumatic marriages. Now, the first one, unfortunately, her husband was in the service industry. I think he worked for the gas company or the electric company, and unfortunately, he was electrocuted. okay, while on the job. That's how she lost him. She was married to him for 11 years. He was her person. He saw her. Let me know if y'all have ever been with someone who really makes you feel seen. And if you have not been with that person, do you think it's still possible, wherever you are in life, to find someone who really sees you? And so this man poured into her. He believed in her. And she says in an interview that I watched that even though he was electrocuted, he lived. Did y'all know that? He lived. Even the people who helped him when he came down off of the pole, his body was so electrifying that they caught on fire. But they were able to revive him, and he was able to go to the hospital. And even though he never really woke up for anyone else, she says that he woke up for her. And the last words were, "I love you, take care of, the children." And so she laments about having that last moment with him. Okay. And in some ways he was able to let her go. And them having that last moment was okay, I have some type of peace. And I was also a single mom. Okay. She went on to get 3 degrees, and it was hard. It shows you just how sometimes we put so much of our trauma onto our parents. You weren't there for me. Why weren't you there for me? I was missing so much. But sometimes we miss the human side of our parents. The human side was that she was grieving, that she was trying to put herself through school and raise children. Okay? And think about that. As you're going through some of your childhood trauma, reflecting upon it, about the relationship with your parents, have you forgotten to see them as humans? That we're all flawed. And maybe at the time that you felt like you weren't heard, you weren't seen, maybe in some ways they thought they were doing the best they could to pour it into themselves, to get up out of that bed when they feel like they really couldn't, to show up as a parent for you. So even though we talk about childhood trauma, sometimes there's a layer of just humanness that we forget to see because we are so focused on the things that we're missing from our lives that we don't focus on what was really there and what were our parents able to provide at that time as human beings. So maybe now as you are an adult, maybe you could see them more as human beings who are flawed like yourself, who are just trying to do the best. And so we see her go on some dates. Now let's talk about the date. I can't remember his name, but the neuroscientist. Okay. Now Lori in my comments on TikTok said it was fake. Annalise said it was real. Okay, I'm gonna go with her. Okay, but they have different of opinions. Now, them TikTok comments are off the chain over there. We're gonna talk about Greg, but Greg's daughter slid into my DMs. She didn't like what I was saying on TikTok. Okay, but let's stick to Annalise. Is that Annalise? Anise. We're gonna stick to Miss Spice. Now, girl, the body, the dresses. I'm like, how old are you? You do not look your age. Now they put her on this date, I feel like with Boo Boo the Fool. And this man said he liked them a little bit ghetto. Do you wear blonde wigs? You got 3 kids? Do you got 3 different baby daddies? You don't need that bread. I'm doing you a favor, sis. Where they find him at? Why waste my girl time? She was too worthy, valuable. She was up here and he was down there. Sorry if this your daddy. Okay, because I know y'all don't like me talk about y'all daddies. Y'all be in my comments. That's my daddy. You got it wrong. Me and everybody else in my comment section. Okay, this was a waste of time. I'm glad though that she did not give up on the process of finding love and allow this one particular man to throw her off, because we saw her find her Big Willie style. Okay, she got her a tall, dark man. Okay, she just fell for him, and it was just so good to see her throughout the trials and tribulations that she has been through really find to me her person. And watching the dynamic between her and her daughter is such a copycat of her younger self, and how they interact. And it shows you that there can be positive mother-daughter relationships. You can have a relationship with your daughter where you're seen as a mom with your mom where you're seen as an adult woman, but still there's a little bit of child in you, that there's that balance. And I think as we grow and become adult women, I think sometimes our mothers are not able to see us as adult women. They still see us as children. And that gets in the way of having a relationship with your mom as an adult woman, because you want to be seen as a woman, not her little girl. And even as a mom myself, my children will always be my children, no matter how old they are. But there's a delicate balance of, yes, I'm your child, but I'm a woman. Okay? Let me know if you've been able to find that balance between now that you're an adult woman and your mom seeing you as one. Are you still struggling to get up from that kid table and have your mom see you? Not, I don't want to say an equal, but kind of like an equal, like we're both women, but you are still my mother. And what does that really look like? Okay. But it was a joy to see her just like thrive and be soft, get giddy, not have to wear a superwoman cape, not have to be that single parent trying to survive, trying to thrive, trying to raise her kids, but to just enter this era of just like, I want to be loved. I deserve love. And it's okay to have this man look at me, I look at him, and we have the same gaze in our eyes, like we know we the prize. And we are glad that we found each other. And it just shows you all throughout this season, there was this layer of vulnerability. To me, the individuals who were more vulnerable, more open to the process, found love, found relationships. The people who were more rigid and closed off and had all these little check boxes, air check boxes, didn't find love. Notice that. Okay, I do agree with the expert here that vulnerability is a big piece in relationships and getting to know someone. Transparency. And I enjoyed how she was present. We've seen a lot of these relationship shows, they have experts, but where they be at? What do they really be doing? What are they providing? And there were times where I was critical of her because I felt like at times she was trying to get Lori to date a man that had ghosted her, that she really wasn't interested in. But Lori, what if you is it just the shirt? Can't you fix that? I am not in a place in my life where I want to be fixing nobody. I am not a fixer. That is not my job. That's not what I want to do in a relationship. So going into Lori, I think she's a woman to me who's always had to be strong and dominating, probably in her field, in her life, raising 2 children by herself. That what is it like for me to enter my soft era? What is it like for me to not feel like I always have to be in control? Okay. And so I think it didn't work out for her because I think there's just some more interpersonal work to be done in seeing yourself as a softer version, accepting that. What does that look like when you've had to be a certain way your entire life? Now to take a step back out of those shoes, take that superwoman cape off. I don't think she's there yet. And I do think at times, because I'm a very direct person, as y'all know, okay? I do believe at times she's so direct that sometimes I have to be telling myself, do I really need to say that? I had to learn tact. The key thing here is to learn tact and know that everything that you're thinking in your mind does not have to be said. There's a time and a place, okay? And so with her, it's just learning more about who I am and who I want to be, okay? Settling into this era in my life where I can show up as a soft version and that will be accepted. And that's okay to be soft, okay? It's interesting how she got set up with somebody who ghosted her. She got set up by a deacon. And the one man who was really interested in her, I kind of felt like he maybe wanted some camera time because he really wasn't interested. With the date he took her on, was it a date or was it just like we just hanging out with the pizza thing? It kind of felt like he played with her and wasted her time for some camera time. He said her friend, he just wanted to take her out for her birthday. It's giving you want a camera time, my brother, okay? But I think over time, I hope that she is able to see it's okay to be soft. Let me know if you remind yourself of Lori. If you are a Lori, someone who's just trying to figure out what it looks like to be soft, can you accept that it is okay to be soft? Okay, that you don't always have to be strong. You don't always have to be in control. But I think she needs a man who is very comfortable in himself, who has confidence, that will let her do her own thing. You do these parties, you meet these celebrities. Go ahead, girl, do your thing. I'm going to support you. I'm going to hold you down. That stuff does not faze me. It does not change my mind about you. It does not make me feel insecure. She needs someone who is very secure about themselves. And the gentleman who went to her party, he seemed out of place. Like he didn't fit in. He didn't know what to do with himself. So that was a no for me. The friend was playing too many games, okay? And the guy who ghosted her, don't go out with nobody who ghosted you again, okay? She was right, okay? She was right. Now let's get to Kevin Samuels. Oh, I mean Greg. Okay, let's get to Greg. Now, okay, Greg and his wife, baby mama, girlfriend, situationship, security blanket, all those things. Okay, these two have been together unofficially to me since she got pregnant. Okay, not only did she get pregnant after 3 weeks of dating him, she'd been around, she'd been locked in. Okay, and from initially watching this, I'm like, how can any woman get close to you with her sitting right next to you? She was eating out of his plate. She was sitting in the confessional so close to him. A woman from the outside is supposed to come in and be able to get close to you with her being that attached. It ain't gonna work. He was too rigid. He came up with an excuse for every reason why he couldn't be with somebody. And then the selfies, dog. If you're not interested, then why take the selfies? For your collection to show her? Because as soon as he got back to the house, she was always there. What's the 411? What she look like? Where y'all go? And half the time he didn't even know where they went. So how vested were you in this process? Now some people feel like they were together. They were using the show. I don't know for what purpose, because I don't know what they really have to gain at the age that they're in. Now the daughter was upset with me because she feel like I was talking about her daddy and I got it wrong. Okay? But it's not just me, sis. Everybody in the comments was saying the same thing. What's with your daddy? So as much as I try to have a objective perspective about all these people, I do try and remember that they are human. Their family members are watching. So some of the things that people were saying, that he might be gay, he on the DL, I'm not gonna get into that kind of stuff because he is a human being. That's none of our business. Okay, his kids are watching, but there's a lot of that rhetoric in my comments. I feel like he's just stuck. He's stuck back when he was in college. And I think the baby mama allows him to be. She's part of the past. And if people are really on their healing journey and wanting to overcome and move past certain phases, certain parts of themselves, you can't take everybody with you. And I think they'll always have a relationship because she is the mother of his child. I think he has 2 other kids or 3. Okay. But until he realizes that I need to look at myself, evaluate my relationships, no woman is going to be able to come into this with her right there. The fact she was all like, I'm just in the neighborhood. She going to always just be in the neighborhood because she has access. Look at who in your life has too much access to you. Where's the reciprocity? What do you get from the relationships of people who have so much access to you? Okay? Now, it was a mess. I don't know what he's doing. I see why he's been single, but it's men like this who waste women's times. Okay? And in some ways, he's wasting his ex's time, but she's wasting her own time too because she's been putting up with it. I want to know about his past relationships. I want to know about her past relationships. What do people feel like coming into this dynamic? Okay, of these two people being like this? Because it just feels like it's a security. If these women don't work out, I still got you. And I want to hear more from his kids. Now, I think the girl who was in my DM, she might have said that she was in her first year of college or something. And they live in a different state or something. That's why we really didn't see them as much. But I wanted to see more involvement from his children, other family members. Out of all the relationships we saw in this, everybody else had their grandkids or their kids in it, but him. And do y'all notice that? What was really there? Okay. But no woman is going to be able to come into that. With her right there on the couch, even the producer was like, so why y'all never get together? Well, there was no clear answer because what they've been doing is working for them. Okay. Think about it. Can you go into a relationship with someone whose ex is their best friend? Is it really possible? I don't think so. Okay. Why do y'all feel the need to stick with y'all exes and have them still in your lives? I get if y'all got kids, maybe a pet, a condo, but what do you really get out of that? And how does somebody new coming into that, how does that really work? Let me know in the comments, okay? But it was a really good show. I wasn't expecting to be good as it was. It was a good little fun, you know, watch over the weekend. Nothing else is really on right now. We got The Ultimatum coming up. But it was a really good show. I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about these couples? That was primarily everybody I want to talk about. Now, Pam, I don't know how much acid she did back in the day, how much shrooms, but it did something. Okay. She was an interesting one. Okay. I was not surprised she didn't find nobody because I think she needs somebody that's either very young or has an eclectic personality just like she does. But girl, what was y'all doing back then? Because it left some lasting effects. Okay, but she's very interesting. She just got internet, y'all. I can't imagine living out there in the middle of nowhere with no internet. I need some internet. If it ain't gonna be nobody around me, give me some internet, all right? But let me know what you think about this series. Do you represent any of these women, the men? Are you someone trying to get back out there and dating again? Because we can get into it, and I will see you guys in the next video.